In 2026, house flipping is no longer the primary driver of profit. Investors who remain stationary, waiting for the interest rates to drop, are finding that the market is moving past them. Success in the current cycle is shifting towards strategic acquisition. The goal is identifying distressed or discounted assets and repurposing them to meet new market demands. We have developed a systematic operating framework that covers 5 specific untouched niches: the corporate structure needed for your team, and the digital tools required for lead generation.
Amateur investors are already becoming trapped in saturated markets.
Adapting to these 5 structural shifts now is the only way to secure a position before the rest of the industry catches up. The first niche is the build to rent model, or BTR. Millennials and Gen Z are entering the life stage of marriage and children, creating a massive need for suburban space, yet they are increasingly priced out of home ownership. Build-to-rent mechanics involve developing entire subdivisions of single-family homes or townhomes strictly to be used as rentals. On paper, you manage the neighborhood with the efficiency of a unified apartment building. These projects are most effective in the Sunbelt states and the Midwest. These are areas where land is available, but the housing supply has not kept pace with the growing population. The second asset class is adaptive reuse. We target vacant big box retail sites or malls that have lost their anchor tenants, buying them at a discount to convert the square footage into storage units or mixed-use communities. Commercial office space is currently seeing an 18% vacancy rate. Since commercial values are tied directly to income, this lack of occupancy is creating rare opportunities to acquire prime real estate at distressed prices. Conversion costs are a major factor here. Office layouts were not built with individual plumbing or kitchens in mind, so you must carefully vet the structural costs before committing to a residential conversion. Build-to-rent and adaptive reuse solve the same problem, taking obsolete real estate and turning it into modern living space where demand is highest. Asset Class 3 focuses on data centers. AI, cloud storage, and streaming services require massive physical land and warehouse structures positioned near power substations. In this model, you own the real estate and lease it to a tech operator for 10 to 20 years. These are typically triple net leases, meaning the tenant covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Be aware that these long-term leases often have fixed rent increases. During periods of high inflation, these returns can be impacted more heavily than multifamily assets that allow for annual rent adjustments. Next is cold storage. Our convenience-driven culture relies on temperature-controlled warehouses to store food, pharmaceuticals, and meal kits before they reach the consumer. The final class is last-mile logistics. These are smaller flex industrial buildings near city centers that allow e-commerce companies to get packages to a customer's door on the same day they are ordered. These infrastructure classes provide long-term stability. They serve as the physical backbone for the digital services and convenience systems we use every day. Moving from asset selection to corporate structure, it is important to realize that personal capital is not a requirement for market entry. For those starting with limited capital, the DIY route works best in tertiary markets.
Targeting smaller strip malls in these areas keeps the initial acquisition costs at a manageable level.
A more scalable method is the joint venture LLC. This allows you to divide equity based on skill sets, where one partner handles capital, another manages construction, and a third runs the daily operations. You can also choose to be a passive investor, deploying capital through public REITs, or acting as a limited partner in a syndication fund. Real estate is a team sport. Utilizing a joint venture structure allows you to leverage the expertise of others and grow a portfolio that exceeds your individual limits. Maintaining a scalable business requires you to move out of the property management role immediately. Your time is best spent finding the next deal, not answering tenant calls. This avoids the landlord trap. If a property only shows profit because you provide unpaid labor to manage it, the investment is fundamentally weak. You must include the cost of professional third-party management in your initial underwriting. If the numbers do not work with a manager in place, the deal should be discarded. To find deals, we use GetSellers.io, a lead engine allowing you to map and contact owners of off-market distressed commercial properties. For capital, Hazel Media specializes in digital ads targeting local investors ensuring a steady funding flow for your projects. Combining automated operations with a consistent lead generation funnel allows you to stop working inside the business and start growing it as a scalable entity. This strategy for 2026 is now in place. You have identified a high demand niche, structured a team, outsourced the daily labor, and activated a marketing engine. The most significant returns in real estate go to those who secure these niche assets before they become a mainstream trend. You can begin by using the links in the description to access getsellers.io for distressed property leads and contacting Hazel Media to build your digital marketing presence. This data driven system creates the predictability required for long term financial freedom. Start implementing these steps today to secure your position in the 2026 market.